If you can't keep your mind quiet or you have troubles staying focused on your meditation, this practice can be quite helpful. I'm talking about mantra practice. So, what is a mantra? How do you practice a mantra? And what are the benefits associated with this kind of practice? In this video, I will talk about how I came to practice it, when I practice it, and how you can also apply it to your spiritual path. Before I continue, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Christian. I've been practicing Zen Buddhism for some years now. I'm also studying Advaita Vedanta, and I consider myself as a friend of the way, and I'm trying to inspire your spiritual journey. Bosal Quan Bosal Quan Bosal Quan Bosal Quan Bosal. Bosal is the Korean name for Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva of compassion. And this Bodhisattva is often described as the one who listens to the cries of the world and is dedicated to helping all beings end their suffering. But what are the benefits of using a mantra like this? I think the simplest way to explain it is that it will strengthen your focus and concentration. When you repeat a mantra in your mind, what happens is that you free yourself from any attachments to any objects you're holding, and you return your focus to the mantra. Nowadays, people have a really hard time staying concentrated. There's always something coming up that distracts us, binds our consciousness to itself, and makes us forget who we really are. And the consequence is suffering, because we identify with the very objects that appear in front of us, whether they be thoughts, emotions, or outside objects. And since these objects are impermanent, they will sooner or later vanish, and this will make us suffer because we are attached to them. And to end suffering, we have to realize our true self, which is not an object, which is eternal, which is peace itself, and always free. However, it's really hard to do that if our attachments to the material world, to illusion, are very strong. We may sit in meditation, but we only think about some problem. Maybe our job, maybe our partner, our health, whatever. And maybe at the end of the meditation, we suddenly realize that we've only been worrying about something and we didn't really engage in our spiritual practice. And this is where mantra practice can be quite useful. When you practice a mantra, it means repeating a few words over and over again in your mind. You can also do it aloud, maybe in a group where it's called chanting, but you can also practice it if you are just by yourself. Again, what happens when you practice a mantra? When you repeat these words again and again, is that you detach, you free yourself from any object that's in your mind, and you return your focus back to the mantra, to something that's neutral. In contrast to that, if we keep thinking about something we like or we dislike, there is a certain taste associated with it. And the consequences of doing that is just more conflict. Either we want to grasp the very thing we are thinking about, or we want to push it away. Either way, we are in conflict. However, if we reorient our awareness towards a mantra, we let go of our individual attachments and we open ourselves up to something that's beyond our relative sense of being. It's actually not necessary or even suggested to put a meaning on a mantra. Different traditions will probably say different things about it, but since I learned this technique from the Zen tradition, I'll just stick with how it was taught to me. Korean Zen Master Sung San even said that it doesn't matter at all what mantra you use. You could even use the words Coca-Cola and keep repeating them in your mind, and you'll get all the benefits associated with mantra practice. However, I personally think that it can be quite helpful if you use a mantra that's somewhat meaningful to you. So, first step, pick a mantra. And here are 3 mantras that you can choose from if you want to. The first one I've already talked about, which is the mantra I'm using, which is Kwan Seum Bosal, which invokes the name of the Bodhisattva of compassion. The second one I would suggest, and that I would use if I didn't use Kwan Seum Bosal, is Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. That's a Sanskrit mantra meaning, may all beings everywhere be happy and free. And the third one, which is probably one of the most well-known ones, is Om Mani Padme Hum. This is a Tibetan mantra also used for invoking the name of Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva of compassion. So the next and the final step is just do it. Just practice it. Pick a mantra and use it whenever and wherever you want. I personally only use a mantra when I'm going for a walk. So let's say when I go for a walk, typically for a little bit more than an hour, I keep repeating these words, my mantra, in my mind. Whenever I become aware of distractions that arose, I just reorient my awareness back to the mantra. There is also no way you can fail this practice. Also, don't be disappointed if you get lost very often and you have to reorient yourself back to the mantra many times. Quite on the contrary, see this as a win. Whenever you become aware that you have not been aware because you were worrying about something, you're aware again. So let go of any thoughts, let go of any ideas you have about the mantra and just repeat it. This way you will develop a clear and strong mind, you will improve your focus, and you won't be easily pulled by your subconscious tendencies. Also, when you are in an extreme situation where it's really hard to stay centered, just use a mantra. So I think that covers it. If you have any question, please don't hesitate to reach out. And if you found this interesting, just try it. Pick a mantra, practice it for maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or even more. I wish you all the best. Your friend of the way. Bye.